The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was minus 89.2 degrees Celsius. It happened in Antarctica. But what if beneath that hostile, frozen expanse there are traces of ancient civilizations? Sounds outlandish? Stick with me. Antarctica is the coldest, windiest and driest continent on the planet, a landscape buried under ice up to a mile thick. The definition of desolation. And yet, some researchers believe this freezing wasteland may have once been a hub of ancient activity. Through the ages, Antarctica has attracted theories that hinge on satellite imagery, ancient maps, and unusual structures spotted beneath the ice, suggesting human or perhaps non-human activity long before recorded history. One of the most famous pieces of evidence is the Piri Reis map. Drawn in 1513 by Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, this map illustrates Europe, Africa, and the Americas with remarkable accuracy for its time. But the real intrigue lies in its southernmost edge. A detailed depiction of the Antarctic coastline, free of ice. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820. So how did a 16th century cartographer know it existed? Proponents of unconventional theories argue that the map proves ancient mariners charted the Antarctic coast when it was still ice-free, a condition that, according to current science, hasn't existed for over 34 million years. The map reportedly includes mountain ranges not rediscovered until modern seismic surveys. Skeptics, however, argue the supposed Antarctic coastline is simply a misinterpretation of the South American coastline, with details filled in from flawed or embellished sources. Despite the debate, the Piri Reis map remains one of history's most extraordinary cartographic mysteries. Then there are the pyramid-like structures. Visible through satellite imagery, certain Antarctic formations bear an uncanny resemblance to the pyramids of Egypt. Some theorize these are remnants of a lost civilization, possibly even the legendary Atlantis, shifted to the South Pole by a catastrophic crust displacement event proposed by Charles Hapgood in the 1950s. Most scientists, though, attribute these formations to natural erosion and wind patterns. As for the scientific consensus on ancient civilizations in Antarctica, the continent has been encased in ice for roughly 34 million years. Ice cores drilled deep into the ice sheet confirm this, and modern humans only emerged around 300,000 years ago. Even if our ancestors could have reached Antarctica, survival would have been virtually impossible. But Antarctica is just the beginning. Picture yourself on the Giza plateau, standing in the shadow of a structure that held the title of world's tallest building for over 3,800 years. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, originally 481 feet tall, built from an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing up to 15 tons. Its base is a near-perfect square, each side measuring around 756 feet, with a difference between sides of less than 2 inches. Each face aligns almost precisely with the cardinal directions, deviating from true north by just 3/60ths of a degree. That alone would be extraordinary, but it gets stranger. The 3 pyramids of Giza mirror the alignment of the 3 stars in Orion's belt, Al-Nitak, Al-Nilam, and Mintaka. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion was associated with Osiris, god of the afterlife. The pyramid's internal shafts, once thought to be ventilation, appear to be deliberately aimed at specific stars. The southern shaft of the king's chamber points toward Orion, the northern shaft toward the circumpolar stars. In the queen's chamber, one shaft points to Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. These structures were built over 4,000 years ago. The mathematical sophistication and astronomical precision involved point to a civilization of breathtaking intelligence, though some argue they point to something else entirely. The ancient astronaut theory, popularized by authors like Erich von Däniken, proposes that extraterrestrial beings shared advanced knowledge with ancient humans. Supporters point to Egyptian texts and artwork that seem to depict flying craft, Most famously, hieroglyphs in the Temple of Seti I at Abydos that bear a striking resemblance to modern aircraft. Could the gods of ancient Egypt have been extraterrestrials, perceived as divine because their technology was indistinguishable from magic? The Great Sphinx adds yet another layer of mystery. Geologist Dr. Robert Schoch noticed something in the 1990s that shook Egyptology to its core. The erosion patterns on the Sphinx appeared to have been caused not by wind and sand, but by water. Thousands of years of heavy rainfall, the kind of rainfall that hasn't occurred in the Giza region for approximately 10,000 years, since the end of the last ice age. Traditional Egyptology places the Sphinx's construction around 2500 BCE, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafra, when the region was already desert. Schoch's findings suggest the monument is far older, built when Egypt was a lush, rain-soaked landscape. If that's true, whoever built the Sphinx predates any civilization we currently recognize. Then there's the theory proposed by author Robert Temple that the Sphinx was never a lion-bodied, human-headed figure at all, that it was originally a massive statue of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the afterlife. The human head, Temple argues, is proportionally far too small for the body, suggesting it was recarved from a larger original. An Anubis head would fit the proportions. The location even makes symbolic sense. Anubis was the guardian of the dead, and the Sphinx sits directly before the Khafra pyramid complex. Skeptics point to the absence of any ancient text identifying the Sphinx as Anubis. But the question lingers. Now let's travel east, beneath the waves of the Indian Ocean, to a submerged city that might be more than myth. Dwarka. In Hindu mythology, this magnificent city was established by Lord Krishna on the western coast of India. Described in the ancient Sanskrit epic, the Mahabharata, as a city of gold, a gateway to heaven. According to legend, after Krishna's death, the sea swallowed the city in days. Then archaeologists started diving. The National Institute of Oceanography led underwater excavations off the coast of modern-day Dwarka and found something astonishing. Well-planned stone structures, pottery shards, semi-precious stones, and inscriptions, some dating back to the Harappan civilization around 2000 BCE. Subsequent dives revealed an extensive network of stone structures stretching over half a mile, apparently built along the banks of an ancient river. Among the most remarkable finds, a seal bearing the image of a three-headed animal, a complex symbol whose meaning remains a mystery. Radiocarbon dating of wood samples from the site produced dates of around 7,500 years ago, vastly older than mainstream historians place the Mahabharata's timeline. Could the legend of Dwarka be history dressed in mythology? Skeptics urge caution. Older organic material can be incorporated into younger settlements. The site is extensive and only partially excavated, but the intersection of archaeological evidence and ancient storytelling is impossible to ignore. Not so far away, another ancient civilization remains even more baffling. The Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization, emerged around 3,300 BCE in what is now Pakistan and northwestern India. It covered more than 1 million square kilometers and comprised over 1,000 individual settlements. At its height, it was trading with Mesopotamia. Its two largest cities, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, were marvels of urban planning, laid out on precise grid systems with main streets running north to south, intersected at right angles. Houses were built from uniform, oven-baked bricks. Almost every home had indoor bathrooms. An intricate network of covered drains ran beneath the city streets. This level of sanitation engineering wouldn't be seen again in Europe for thousands of years. The Harappans also used a standardized system of weights and measures with a binary decimal structure, consistent across the entire civilization, suggesting a sophisticated administrative and economic framework. And yet, they left behind a script that has never been deciphered. Around 400 distinct characters, believed to be logosyllabic, carved onto seals, amulets, and pottery. Without a Harappan Rosetta Stone, their literature, if they had any, remains completely inaccessible. Around 1900 BCE, this extraordinary civilization began to decline. Cities fell into disrepair. Standardized weights disappeared. Theories range from climate change and prolonged drought to catastrophic floods, tectonic shifts that altered river courses, and the mysterious disappearance of the Saraswati River. Whatever happened, the Harappan civilization didn't vanish completely. Elements of their culture merged with what came after, embedding themselves in the fabric of South Asian civilization. Their legacy echoes in the Vedic civilization that followed, named for the Vedas, the oldest scriptures in Hindu literature. Composed between roughly 1500 and 500 BCE, the Vedas contain hymns, rituals, and philosophical frameworks that would form the foundation of Hinduism and influence Buddhism and Jainism. But they also contain something harder to explain. References to vimanas, flying machines, detailed astronomical knowledge describing the Earth's revolution around the Sun. Centuries before, this was accepted in Western science. Advanced metallurgical practices, the conceptualization of zero, which would transform mathematics forever. Early texts from the Rig Veda document medicinal plants and holistic practices that became Ayurveda, one of the world's oldest healing systems. Yoga, now practiced by hundreds of millions globally, finds its roots here too. The Vedic texts also show intriguing parallels with other ancient civilizations. The Egyptian concept of Ma'at, cosmic order and moral law, mirrors the Vedic principle of Rita almost exactly. Both civilizations demonstrated advanced astronomical knowledge embedded in their architecture. Sumerian texts describe flying gods and celestial chariots that echo the Vimanas of Vedic literature. Was this coincidence, cultural diffusion, or something more? Ancient alien theorists argue that the gods described across these civilizations, Egyptian, Vedic, Sumerian, were not mythological inventions, but actual extraterrestrial beings, perceived as divine because their technology was incomprehensible. They point to the striking convergence of astronomical knowledge, architectural precision, and flying craft imagery across cultures with no documented contact. Mainstream scholars offer more grounded explanations: trade routes, shared human curiosity about the cosmos, and the universal tendency to build upward and look skyward. But the questions refuse to stay quiet. The answers may still be out there, buried under ice, beneath the sea, or encoded in a script no one has cracked yet. History isn't finished with us.